most people don't understand. How many of you have heard of Sia? Ben? Anyway, okay. Lead singer Amy. Okay, she was 13 years old and she was a cheerleader. And she heard a voice say, "That girl is too big to be a cheerleader." It has been more than 20 years and she still remembers everything about that day and she has not let it go. She still thinks about that constantly and still talks about like the pain that she feels just by being called fat by one person that she doesn't even know. Never met her entire life. One person called her fat. She's like, "I know I'm fat, but just to hear somebody else say it." We don't understand what words actually do to people. Like, you may say something, like I may call Tyler fat or something, and he's going to shrug it off and act like nothing's wrong, but inside that's killing them, and they're going to hold on to that for a while. Like, you don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know if they have problems about that. It may be genetic, and it may not even be their fault. But they're going to take that stuff seriously, and they're going to hold on to that for the rest of their lives. It's like, a woman from our church spoke to us after this, and she had polio when she was younger. And she'd be going through school, and people would laugh at her, make fun of her. She had crutches and braces and body casts and all this stuff. And people would call her Hopalong and call her names because she had polio, and she couldn't do nothing about it. It pretty much crippled you. Yeah, like, she was practically crippled. Like, the doctor told her she wouldn't walk again when she was younger, but she's walking and she's a piano player for our church now. It's like, she's a great woman.
Greatest piano player I've ever heard.
And, like, she still remembers the things people used to say about her all these years later, probably 40 years, 50 years ago. So, I mean, if you see someone in the hallway being bullied or someone calling them names, I mean, if someone says, "Oh, I'm just kidding," or if they say, "No, I'm fine," that doesn't mean they're fine. That just means they don't want to talk about it. So, and she used to talk about how she'd be at lunch and she would drop her tray, and she can't be down and pick it up because she's in cast. There's nothing she could do about it. Nobody would help her. She would fall. Nobody would help her up. They just walk by and laugh at her. So, like, if you see someone who's being made fun of, or if they need help, or someone's calling them names, whatever, I mean, you need to do what you can to stop that because...
Even if you don't like them or not.
Yeah, like, it's been 20 years from Amy since she's been called fat. One word, fat. Too fat to be a cheerleader, and she still remembers that 20 years later. I mean, it don't matter if they think they are or not, you still don't call them out on that. That's disrespectful, and you don't judge people like that. So if you see someone going through a hard time like this, or someone who is hurt and needs your help, don't just walk by, because they're going to think that nobody cares. And she also talked about the guy from college. When he walked, he had to walk like hobbled because he had something wrong with him. And she asked the college if they could use elevators in the class, and they told him no. So he had to walk one step at a time. He had to wait till everybody else was already in class, because they couldn't do it when everybody else was around him. He had to wait till everybody in class just to go up the stairs. 4 flights of stairs, 4th floor. He had to go up that every day. And despite the pain, despite everything. And there's also a man she knew she met at a polio convention. He has to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning just to be up at 8 because he doesn't want to dress himself. People, they may seem fine over here, but outside of school, outside of life, like when you don't see them, they can be going through some serious stuff, and you don't know nothing about this. So it's best not to judge people. I mean, and you got one person like that you may not think it'll make a difference for you to say you care, but that will actually mean a lot to them. If you just be like, "Hey," it's like, "I'm sorry about what you're going through," and just talk to them. Just be their friend, be there for them all times. And like, you don't understand how much that will actually help. All right, Blake, do you have the Bible verse? I'm not sure.
Which one do you do? What's it, Matthew? I got some.
Okay. You got Psalms? Who else do you might have out there? You want to go? Isaiah 41, verse 11 to 13. Alright.
This is Matthew 5:38 through 41. It talks about revenge. You have heard that the law says the punishment matches the injury, and an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. But I say, do you not resist an evil person? If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands that you carry his gear for a mile, carry it 2 miles. Give it to those who ask, and don't turn away from those who want to borrow. That's basically saying, don't be angry at somebody, don't get revenge, kill them with kindness. Do it for them. Don't hesitate, don't be scared or anything, just do it. Do it. Carry it for, like I said, carry it for 2 miles.
Yes,
Give them
Psalms
something. They ask for something, give it to them.
Chapter 18.
Then there's another verse, Matthew 5, I think it was 11.
11.
It says, God blessed you when people mock you and persecute you and lie about you and say all sorts of evil things against you because you are my followers. Be happy about it. Be very glad, for a great reward awaits you in heaven. Remember, the ancient prophets were persecuted in the same way.
Alright, Bubba. Psalms.
31 to 34. For who is God besides the Lord? And who is the rock except our God? And it is God who arms with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes me fit my feet like the feet of a deer. Oh, he enables me to stand on the heights. He trains my hands for battle. My arms can bend a bow of bronze. I think he's basically saying that the Lord, he's like he's there for us. He's always strong enough, and he can be strong. You can be just strong like him. He can make you strong. He can make you face the problems head first. The problem like someone calling you fat or something.
So,
Proverbs 6, verse 9. Whoever digs the Lord heights, 7 more detestable than him. Haughty eyes, a lying tongue, hands that shed instant blood. A heart that devises wicked schemes, feet that are quick to rush into evil. A false witness who pours out lies, a person who stirs up conflict in their community.
Isaiah 41, 11 to 13. Be sure that all who are enraged against you will be ashamed and disgraced. Those who contend with you will become as nothing and will perish. He will look for those who contend with you, but you will not find them. Those who war against you will become absolutely nothing. For I, Yahweh, your God, hold your right hand and say to you, do not fear, I will help you.
Yahweh is another term for fire.
Alright, so class is over. We've got a late start today, but if you see anybody going through a time like this, a hard time, don't judge them, help them. It doesn't matter if you don't particularly like that person, still help them. You don't know what they're going through. Don't judge other people. Don't call people names, because they're going to remember that later on down the line, whether you think they will or not. Alright,
And if you're going through the same thing,